welcome to another edition of Afro Zone. I am your ambassador Rash and your wonderful host. And in the program also, we have the innovation and entrepreneurship corner of my brother Ibrahim Kanu. And as always, we start off from different locations. And today we are out here at Al Jarrad Restaurant and Bakery at Wilberforce. And my guest for today is HAMZA KOROMA. HAMZA is a social media influencer, a writer, a researcher, and also a strong youth advocate and a fellow changemaker. Don't go nowhere. I'll be right back shortly.
So yes, and welcome back, and many thanks to our sponsors, and thanks to Al Jarrad Restaurant and Bakery for giving us this wonderful space for this edition of Afro Zone. I have the honor now to introduce my guest, HAMZA. HAMZA, we are out here having drinks and having fun. It's a pleasure having you on Afro Zone.
Thank you so much for having me on Afro Zone.
And once again, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Are we yet ready for the June celebrations or something else?
Wow, that's a whole lot of crap. I'm on it anyway. It's not something that's easy, but I'm on it. I know by May, we're going to have a luncheon.
Okay. How do you manage your time?
I manage my time crazily. I'm supposed for a normal youth, going out on weekends, spending weekend days in offices. Like I usually, I'm a freelancer, let me just put it that way. So mostly I take my time doing research, I take my time reading people, profiling them, and I also take a whole lot of my time on social media. That's about commenting about issues that is happening on social media.
How was it like growing up as a kid? You know, Sierra Leone, here comes Gambia, you were back in Sierra Leone, private college, peace, politics, and so many things happening back in that university. Tell us more.
Well, it's really thrilling. Like I usually say, I grew up in a situation wherein I grew up in a country of an authoritative rule, wherein we have the president. The president is all saying, of course, you know, Yaya Jammeh, and then we cannot discuss or talk about issues openly. So we usually go in our little corner and stuff. But when I came to Australia, it's something very different, and as something voicing our reality. We're actually standing for justice, you know, going out playing and condemning a political party to be ill about the government. We're like, okay, this is good. I think this is a startup. So attending curriculum, it really pulled me up as opposed to when I was in the Gambia. Really. Yeah, exactly. So I learned a lot about Sierra Leone, and I also made a comparison between the two countries. But I think Sierra Leone actually has grown me more than the Gambia.
Those amazing results from peace and conflict and that from politics. You can say HAMZA has since both amazing student. Tell us more.
Well, I think my colleagues can say more of that. Yeah. But actually, I usually used to be at the top of my class in both political science and peace and conflict resolution studies. And one thing I always tell them is like, when you're studying something, you need to have the passion. Mm-hmm. You need to go in for it because of you want to do it, not because of you want to earn something from it. Yeah. So like usually tell my people, I studied peace and conflict resolution to understand the contemporary issues happening in the world and how Sierra Leone can learn from first world countries and the global north so we can apply it to the global south and also improve Sierra Leone. Okay. And political science, I did it because of I wanted to understand the political nature of the country, and of course I've learned a lot from it. For sure. And I think that politics is not the only problem in Sierra Leone, but we also have other problems around. And by the grace of God, in my next book, Alternative Development Volume 2, okay. A Pathway to Success in Sierra Leone, and a great case study from, of course, Rwanda. I'll also mention all these attributes Rwanda have in...
I think I need to give the linkage. You have to travel to Rwanda.
Exactly.
Because as a researcher, advocate, and writer, you need to go beyond the scene. Exactly. Let's talk about HAMZA, the writer. How do you discover that talent?
I started writing at a very young age. Started writing at the age of 13 to 14, and I started writing on fictions. Yes, I love fictions. Well, like when I came to Sierra Leone, the dynamics changed, and I thought it fit that I should start writing now on things that are happening in non-fiction. Start writing on issues in countries. That's why I actually took the alternative development as my first book, and I also went further and highlighting some important cultural sensitive issues in the letter to my ancestor.
Okay.
So I actually think that writing is part of me because my father too was a writer.
Okay.
Exactly. He has been writing books on Islamic studies, philosophy. So I just inherited that from him, I think.
So 2 books now
Yeah.
to your name.
Yeah.
And they will tell you they are professors and other big names without a single book. You have 2 books to your name.
Exactly.
How grateful are you?
Just thankful. I think I've not done enough yet.
Yeah, you
exactly.
need to do more.
I need to do more because of I think youth are still having this mentality that we can't unless we grow older, and of course that's not the reality. You look at other countries, young people are driving the economy.
Yeah.
Young people are the change makers. So why can't we do it here in Sierra Leone? I keep asking myself. So we need to change the mentality of depending on political parties. And the political parties start depending on us.
Okay.
That is, we make the decisions, we count, we need to occupy the parliament, we need to occupy the government parastatals, and we need to be out there to voice out the reality. We need to be the change.
Are there times when you're scared of your social media posts?
Never, not in a,
Okay.
no, not in a
Those-
million
those,
years.
you know, those crazy ones that will tell you, it's not Salono. Yeah,
I know, but I've got a lot
Okay.
of feedbacks from people saying that, Hamza, you need to take this post down. Hamza, you know that you have a very good connection with so and so person. Why are you doing this? You know, they keep saying so many things, but like I say, I am representing the interest of the people and not the interest of that particular individual.
Okay.
So that particular individual should understand what the country is going through. So if I am out there voicing out reality, I think that person should see and at least reason out and say, okay, yeah, he's actually saying the fact, and I think we should support him and work with him, and at least so he can actually change the mentality and the mindset of other people. But if that person comes out and say, no, Hamza is always
This
against the interest
against
of
my
my political party, then I think that person is not doing the country a favor. So yes, not in a million because I've never been afraid.
Okay.
Not even one day. To say, I'm not going to post this, I'm not going to do it. No, I've never.
You have always been speaking truth to power, and recently you visited the First Lady.
Yeah.
Are there any conflicts of interest?
Yeah,
We are your fans, GT, so I'm going to talk all the time. Never seen him miss so.
I know, right? Visited the First Lady. We had a great time.
Okay.
She even called me. She said, I'm her cousin. And like because of we actually had this connection back in the Gambia, which is very good. But actually, I visited her because of we needed to talk about some certain things that are happening in the country. And of course, I also visited her because she needs to serve as a guest speaker to my June Celebration magazine launch.
Okay.
So yeah, we had a great talk, and then of course we talked a lot, and like she like gradually said, "You on social media?" Eh? I was like, I just smiled and I said, "This is it."
You are very liberal.
Yeah, yeah. At least,
How do you want to maintain that? It's difficult in Sierra Leone. There are times you hear strong voices, and to reach a point, those voices will be sellouts at the end of the day.
No, it all boils down now to the politics interest or personal interest as opposed to public interest. So like, if you're out there genuinely, you're out there to seek the interest of the people, then definitely nothing's going to tangle you up. But if you're out there to seek your own interest and then you gradually reach to the point, then definitely something's going to tangle you up.
It's on the reverse.
Yeah, so it has to be a genuine process. If you're crying out, if you're advocating for people, or you're an activist, you're representing a particular interest, you need to stick to that interest, irrespective of your connection, irrespective of you mingling with political cocoons. You just need to maintain your point, because by the end of the day, it all boils down to integrity. So that's the key thing. Public interest as opposed to personal interest. Are you representing a public interest, or are you representing your personal interest?
It's very nice because it has to do with mindsets at the end of the day. Let's talk about something before we go for a break and come back to the June celebration, where you have a lot of people, a lot of stars, and we'll have the potential viewers what your books look like. How can someone reach out? You know, HAMZA as the MC, HAMZA as the advocate, HAMZA as a researcher, HAMZA as the writer. How can someone reach out to read your books or even reach out to you for something else?
Well, usually I had my book in a particular shop, but it's not there anymore. I've tried so many times to put my book on Amazon, but not now. But like literally, if people who want my book, they normally contact me from my page, my official page, HAMZA for SL, where I normally do the delivery for them. So yeah, that's the best way they can get my books on social media, Facebook. Contact me on HAMZA for SL, and definitely it's going to reach out to you in the next 24 hours.
I'll bring you back and we'll talk about June celebration, and viewers will have the time to sit around. You're still with Afro Zone, and we're live here at Al Jarrad Restaurant and Bakery from Wilberforce, and we are showcasing Sierra Leone to different heights every other day. So we're taking the entire media landscape beyond just the normal studio setting. I'm you love out here.
Yeah, I do. I do love Ada. It's a beautiful restaurant.
Any more drinks?
Yeah, I definitely by the end of the show.
We'll be back shortly. Let's go for a quick commercial break.
Okay.
So welcome back. You're still with Afro Zone, and we still have with us HAMZA KOROMA. HAMZA is a strong influencer in Sierra Leone and a fellow change maker, as I always call him. HAMZA, the June celebration.
The June Celebration magazine.
Yeah.
It's here. It's actually one of my greatest work. Why I call it my greatest work is because of actually it cut across different influencers, activists, philanthropists, and advocates, people who are doing extremely well in Sierra Leone. So I had to profile them and put them in a particular book, so at least it would serve as a guide for pupils and students. Because most of the time we do face challenges and problems where people do go in for courses, but by the end of the day, they're totally clueless. They don't know what to do, where to go, and how to start. But if you read the profile of these great people, then definitely you will learn.
You just serve as a career development guy.
Exactly.
You know. So were they all born in June, or just an ideology or name? You know, you writers are very amazing.
No, all of them were not born in June, actually. It is the magazine. It is the magazine that is the June Celebration magazine. The reason why we call it June Celebration magazine, because on my social media handle, HAMZA for SL, we only celebrate people on June. Okay, so when we celebrate them at that particular month, that's the time we profile them, that's the time we put them out to the world, and that's the time we now compile their works and then put it in a magazine. So we have to call it the June Celebration magazine because it is being derived from the social media celebration.
Okay, so any plans of reaching out to the Ministry of Tourism, Foreign Affairs, so we're going to have them on airlines, restaurants, hotels? But the printing is amazing. I love it.
So much. Thank you so much. But definitely, definitely that's going to be. Definitely, we're working on that. We're working on that after the launch and see how best we can take it out to the world, because we need to target hotels, we need to target libraries, we need to target big ministries, and then we also need to target offices that are in and out of the country. So at least they will actually know that so we have influencers. Not the cost.
Amidst the economical challenge, not only seeing globally. The global recession.
The global, exactly. Well, I'm thinking about putting an international price as well as putting a domestic price. But anyway, I'm looking forward to that.
So what about the alternative development?
Well, the alternative development is my first book. This book I wrote in 2020. And then I did it in order to carve out the cultural sensitive needs of the people. And then the reason why I had to write the alternative development book is for me to teach youth, teach people that in Sierra Leone we can also do it with all the natural resources, with all the human resource, with all the ideas we have, you know. But up till now we're still struggling. We're still in a third world country. We can still provide the basic needs of the people. So like, the government keeps looking at the GDP, keeps looking at their faces in the international scene, forgetting that they need to focus on the structural needs of the people, like provision of good roads, electricity, you know, having a basic life. Like this, every citizen should have a basic life. Okay, so alternative development comes in and say that, hey, you don't only need to focus on the economy, but even if Sierra Leone is the fastest growing economy, but is it reflecting the lives of the people? And then so I looked at so many sectors. I looked at the education, I looked at the agriculture, and I made sure I had to incorporate youths there, find possible solutions and recommendations, so the government will look at it and learn from it and apply it to the modern day.
We are lacking behind in terms of the reading culture in Sierra Leone. How do you want to raise more awareness of public education about that?
Well, gradually we're getting there. It's not really easy, but I think I've transformed so many minds since 2020 when I first released this book. And then, correctly speaking, I've seen up to more than 8 or 9 writers, right? They are now coming up writing
And they are
books.
sending testimonies.
Exactly.
We have been seeing them on your social media platforms.
They've been sending testimonies, and I love that. The fact that we're now getting to this, because I think the old people fail to teach us the moral lesson of life. I think we need to teach the younger generation that this is how we need to do. We need to pen down our ideas because one day or one way or the other, they're going to need these ideas for them to implement it.
So what about the second book?
The second book, Letter to My Ancestor.
Yeah, I love the title.
I know, Letter to My Ancestor. It's one of my greatest works, though, apart from the magazine. And Letter to My Ancestor speaks volume about the ill of society. It speaks about the bad governance, corruption. And in that book, it's an epistolary wherein I designed it specifically to tailor my anger, my frustration, as in what the government is doing, and then it's not going well with the people. The book is actually not a long book, it's a short book. And in that, I talked about bad administration. I talked about politicians, specifically politicians, and I made mention of their false promises and of how they've left us in abject poverty. So it's a book that is worth reading.
We are left with complete hate amongst ourselves.
Exactly.
Unless you have to be smart and know that politics is about numbers and interests.
Exactly. And in that book, I also carved out the distinction between two youths. Okay, I talked about we have the patriots and we have the zombies. The zombies appear to be patriots, but they're not patriots. They're zombies in the sense that they only represent their interests. So, like, I talked about so many issues there. I can elaborate on that.
Viewers, go out there and grab the book.
Exactly.
So, you're leaving us now your word of advice, and once again, your social media handles.
My social media handles, I'm more active on Facebook, and on Instagram, I'm not that active. On Twitter, I'm not that active. Yeah, because of Facebook, I'm used to Facebook, and of course, we have a lot of Sierra Leoneans on Facebook.
Yeah, it's easy for Sierra Leoneans to follow.
So if I want to target the media, if I want to target the people, the youth, then definitely I have to
HAMZA
concentrate on social media. Yeah, HAMZA 4 SL. That's how you do it. Because some people just go like HAMZA FOR. It's not FOR, it's 4.
As in number 4, numeric 4.
Exactly.
Okay, it's a pleasure having you. Thank you so much,
Thank you so much for having me today.
And it's strange, it's different. And I know you love the vibes.
I know, I really love the vibes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So that's all for today. We now join our team for the Innovation Entrepreneurship Corner with Ibrahim Kanu. And many thanks to the management and staff of this wonderful restaurant here at River Falls, Al Gerard Restaurant and Bakery. And many thanks to Zara for giving us this wonderful space today. Have a wonderful and blessed time. Keep watching Afro on iAfrica SL.
Hello and welcome to the Innovation and Entrepreneur Corner, and I am Ibrahim Kanu. My guest is Mohamed Ali Mansari, known as Current. He is a fashion designer and entrepreneur. It's a pleasure having you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Ibrahim.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, me too.
So how it look like for you in the business environment, from caviar lots come to the current place of business?
Wow, Mr. Ibrahim, thank you very much. You know, be easy. You know, somebody come on that for certain community where everybody they fight for survival, everybody they fight for survival, you know, be easy. See, fortunately, I can't caviar lot. Can't caviar lots are the fight and sober one, you know, be easy. I travel, I go Guinea, I come. Things very difficult for me. So I decide to come back na Cadia lot for come for this day. When I come back, I not stop back. Oh, I try to pursue back to go Lixal Business College. I did, I did Lixal Business College. I try back for fight some back. You know, that business what they do now. They back at the try and they get something for fashion business. I get people who are the costume. Under this hard way no more. Say God can help me. I can open.
Alright, so what's been the transformation from Kabialot to Turkey to Salon? Then from there you take your business from now local community and take it to international.
Yeah, by the grace of God. Hard work and persevere. Now that's make it happen. So it not be easy. I get sleepless nights. I think I work very, very hard for this thing happen. I start this thing small. The help of people them come and explain to people them the idea. I can meet up one guy with Ninjo. He helped me buy me idea. He say, well, me and Ma we get brain, so he help me somehow like get this. Fine, exactly. You know, he helped me like get this shop in Panama Road. But from there, me self try for play me whole. I try for do 2-3 things we make the like. Alhamdulillah, I will get visa for go Turkey. You know, I come and start this business now. The business is going internationally.
So I be able to manage the two discipline them, education and business.
Wow, that may be tough for me.
Not easy.
Not really easy. Yes, I go Lixal and study marketing. It came a time where I didn't have Lixal, like we get lunch. And they come with me close them. And they come open up for people there. One time one of my colleagues they asked me, say, man, now land you can learn on a business you can do. He said, because all the time we come on. Now that's why you used to be pack this bag. And they put clothes then they man. If you see the clothes they want, they put under. For little my able sell, I will raise something from his fees. You know, and not be easy. It take me a lot.
So you get an inspiring story. So what are you visit of hope for young people who are going into business?
Like my advice what they give to young people who want to come into business, especially this business. This business will do so may mix out with pleasure. You know, when they say business is business, you understand? Whatever I think you know say you get for do with somebody, pull them part of your business. The business not for the priority, it's for the thing about your business. My advice where I want to give to a young man the way they come up. Like as for me, sometimes in the way some people can ask me, say, I say like possibly like me kind, you know, me age mates can tell me say like current are the bad. Sometimes I can just say, wow, you can start somewhere. If me I come on that poor background, that's the way.
Start from nothing.
From nothing, no help, nothing. I work very, very hard. Yeah, I start this, I come on actually, man, I can't fit on back. You know, I don't get nobody help from no parents, no friends, nobody. One day I get me money, I take that money, now look at it. Without the help of nobody, I fight them that time they are able to go continue that 10 a day. I try for me profit out of it. Then I go college with that same money. So like way person can beg me say, go ahead, can give me, I can feel pity sometimes and they say, you can do them. If me do them, where I come on a consultant community, fine. I come off from the community where things be very, very hard for me. I fight them very, very hard. And I go meet nobody say, my man can give me money, we can start. I start somewhere. So I believe say you too, you can start somewhere and do something better.
Exactly. So what now you business contract if people are contacting you for partnership?
Okay. This is not Team Current Fashion Boutique. Me and the CEO of Team Current Fashion Boutique. If you want to locate me, contact me at this number 076 21 67 10. You check me now 104 Panama Road. And the costume. I get so many artists that we are on costume. I get so many producers them, TV presenters them. We are on costume a lot. So if you don't need of anything, you want stand contest, you want do music, you want let them costume you, just check 104 Panama Road. Team Current Fashion.
The message simple from the message simple from the message is easy from Team Current. It say it starts from nowhere, and then like today, because of consistency and the hard work, it is somewhere. So you back, not sit down and host full and you just need to start, just start. Till we meet again for another edition on Afro Zone, me na Ibrahim Kano.